Hey everyone, this is my review and explanation of I'm Thinking of Ending Things. So if you've just recently watched I'm Thinking of Ending Things and you're trying to figure out what it's about, I'm going to explain it for you. But first I want to just go over some of the things I liked and didn't like about the movie. First off, the acting I thought was top notch. Some of the best I've seen, not just this year, but ever. First of all, you have Jesse Plemons, who is one of the best actors working today. And then David Thewlis, he is a legend, and he does not disappoint in this movie. He's quite creepy and it's pretty unsettling, but he was great. And of course, Toni Collette, she is one of the greatest. I love her in everything, and she was having a lot of fun, you can tell, in this movie, even though, yeah, this character is also pretty creepy and unsettling, but she does a great job. But the actor who steals the show is Jessie Buckley. I didn't know anything about her before. I have seen something with her in it because she was one of, I wouldn't say star, but she was a supporting character in Chernobyl. She is unrecognizable in this. First of all, she's not Russian, she's Irish. And in the miniseries, she was playing a Russian, and in this movie, she's playing an American. So she obviously has a lot of range, and she has so much that she has to do in this movie. It really is with all those other great actors. This movie is resting upon her shoulders, and she is more than up for the task. She is great. I can't wait to see more from her. Another thing that I really loved about this movie was the dream quality of it. It reminded me a lot of Mother. And while I don't think this movie was as groundbreaking as Mother was, in fact, I think that this movie was kind of following in Mother's footsteps. I really like the way it gave you the sense that this was not reality. This everything could change at any moment, just like a dream. And so I really liked that about the movie. It kept you unsettled and never knowing what was going to happen next. And it was uncomfortable, and it was intense. It was and purposefully uncomfortable. And so it definitely succeeded at that. And I really enjoyed that about the movie. And it was a good, I don't want to classify this as a horror movie, but it was like some of my favorite horror movies that aren't about like jump scares or gore or horrible violence. It's about emotional violence and emotional heartache and grief, and just always tormenting you with the emotions of the movie. It falls in that tradition. The best moments from Hereditary, those types of movies. This movie was really great at just, like I said earlier, making you feel uncomfortable. And so I enjoyed that, even though it wasn't necessarily enjoyable to go through it. And finally, it's a challenging movie, and it made you think, and it made you speculate not just what the movie was about, but what life is about. And this is a Charlie Kaufman movie, and he's going to, force you to reckon with the, supreme sadness of existence and what it means to be a human and how sad that can be at so many times. And so I think it shares that with his other best movies. I wouldn't put it up there with like Infinite Sunshine of the Spotless Mind or Being John Malkovich. Or even Adaptation. It's not of that quality, but I still definitely enjoyed it. Enjoyed reckoning with it, I would say, and it's worth watching. But that brings me to what the hell was it all about? If you are watching this, I have a feeling you're trying to figure out what this movie was about. And unlike some of his other movies, this is based on a novel, and the novel makes it pretty clear what it's about. And so we don't have to speculate. And while we should separate the movie from the book, and they're two different things, um, the fact is that this is based on a story that came before it. And in that story, we have a main character that's just unreliable, and we're not sure what is real and what isn't. And at the end, you find out that this was all in the imagination. It is a creation of that janitor character who appears sporadically throughout the film. And basically, he's thinking back on this near, not even near. He had a moment where he wanted to meet and get the number of this woman at a trivia night, and he never did. And whether he actually interacted with her on that night or was just watching her, it's unclear from the movie. I haven't read the novel, I've just kind of read a summary, but he took that moment and he was in his old age thinking back what could have been, what might have been if I'd had that relationship. He just kind of created a life for himself, but he wasn't very good at creating that life. And I think that the movie is really pretty simple in that it's just imagining something that never really happened. But at the same time, it's not really about that. That's not the important thing. The important thing is that it's just forcing you to reckon with the nature of reality and how we interact with the world and how we interact with dream and imagination and loneliness and grief and all of those things, and what life is. Is there an objective reality? Is it all subjective? Is it all lived through our imagination or our filter of the world? All of that is in play. And so the real reality of the movie, that it's all from the perspective of this guy looking back on a life that never was, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is whatever you want it to be, and whatever you take away from it is what the movie ultimately will mean for you. So I hope that helps give you a little bit of context for the movie and what Kaufman was trying to do. Again, it doesn't explain everything, but it gives you a framework for how you can go through scene by scene and start to piece together what was happening and what the different possibilities are. So, like I said, I wouldn't put this up there with Charlie Kaufman's best movies, but it was definitely worth watching. I was glad to have seen it and to think about it, and I hope you felt the same way. So, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please hit like or subscribe, and hopefully I will see you again next time.